Hey kids, welcome to section 4.3 check registers. Today we're going to learn how to balance a check register. What may happen if you forget to deposit a check? Well, if you forget to deposit a check, you might think you have more money in your checking account than you actually do, which might cause you to overspend, which might cause you to get into some overdraft difficulty. So it's really important that you keep very good track of how you are spending your money, what's coming, what's going, and put it in your check register. So you use a check register to keep a record of your deposits, any electronic transfers or automatic transfers, checks you have written, and any ATM deposits or withdrawals. And so, again, now that apps are a big thing on phones and banks are using apps to keep track of it, a lot of people don't use a check register as much anymore. However, it is important that you do keep track of it somewhere. The balance is the amount of money that you have in your account. So you should always know what your balance is. Some checking accounts actually require you to keep a specific value of money in your checking account. Otherwise, you get charged. Other checking accounts only allow you to write so many checks per month before you can't write anymore. There are checking accounts for students, checking accounts for businesses, checking accounts for older people. There are checking accounts for all different kinds of people. So make sure that you shop around and find the right checking account for you from the right bank. When you write a check or electronically transfer funds out of your account, like a direct payment or you have automatic bill pay, you subtract the amount from the previous balance. When you make a deposit, you add the amount of the deposit to the previous balance. So when you write a check, that means you're giving somebody else money, which means you have less money, which is why you subtract checks. If you deposit money, you're putting money into an account, which means you have more money, which is why you add the amount. So you're going to find your new balance by taking your previous balance, subtracting any checks, subtracting any automatic transfers, adding any deposits. These are the ways that you're going to keep track of your money. So let's look at a check register. So, number one, this check register belongs to Maggie Smith. As you can see in the check register, we have different columns. The left-hand column is the check number. So it looks like she wrote two checks, check 256 and check 257. The next column is the date column. So we can say what day she wrote the checks. And then it looks like she had a deposit of her paycheck. The description column is usually who did you write the check to? Did you write it to Harry's Hardware? Did you write it to your rental agency? Did you write it to me? Then the next column is the check amount. Notice that the dollars and the cents are split on either side of the vertical line. Then we have this blank column, which we'll get to eventually in the chapter. Then we have the deposit amount. Again, dollars and cents are separated. And then we have a balance column here on the right hand side, which we're going to use in a minute. So what was the beginning balance? Well, balance forward is another way of saying beginning balance. It was $32.26. What is her checking account balance after depositing her payroll check? Well, that means I need to figure out what her balance is right here. So let's learn how to do balances. If you write a check, you're subtracting. So I'm going to subtract and I'm going to subtract. If you write a deposit or make a deposit, that's addition. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the balance of 32.26. The next line, you're going to subtract 12.25, and the number that you get is $20.01. Then you take that $20.01, you go to the next line and you add 468.21, which gives you 488.22. Oh, that's the answer I need. I need how much was in the account after you deposited your paycheck. 488.22. What is Maggie's ending balance? So now I need to find this last one. So I take 488.22, go to the next row, and I subtract 121.14, and that gives me 367.08. So her ending balance is 367.08. So you always take the balance and then add or subtract to get a new balance. Take the balance, add or subtract to get a new balance. Take the balance, add or subtract to get the new balance. And you keep going until you run out. Okay, number 2, Margaret Miller's checking account had a balance of $313.54. She wrote a check for $45.78 on March 2nd to Comcast. The bank made an automatic transfer, or an AT, of $52.55 on March 5th to pay her phone bill. She made a deposit of $240.32 on March 10th. What is the new balance in Margaret's account? All right, we need to fill in all this stuff. All right, so let's read sentence by sentence. Her checking account had a balance of $313.54. That goes in balance brought forward. Notice there is no line separating dollars and cents in this check register. Each one is different. Okay, she wrote a check for $45.78. That's a payment. So $45.78 goes here. She wrote it on March 2nd. That goes in the date. She wrote it to Comcast. That's the description. It doesn't say what check number it was, so that's probably my fault. The bank made an automatic transfer. That's an AT. That's like when you just have direct bill pay. Of $52.55, that is a payment. On March 5th to pay her phone bill. Then she made a deposit, that's this column, of $240.32. She made a deposit. Sometimes you can put deposit paycheck. We don't know what her deposit was here, and it was on March 10th. Find the new balance in Margaret's account. So I'm looking for that number right there. So one thing I like to do is go through and put minuses and plus. Anything in the payment or debit column is a minus. So I'm going to put minuses. Anything in the deposit or credit is going to be a plus. So we're going to take $313.54 and we're going to subtract $45.78. And that's going to give us $267.76. Then we're going to take that number, go to the next line, and subtract $52.55. That's going to give $215.21. Then we're going to take that number, go to the next line, and add $240.32. That's going to give me $455.53. That's the answer I'm looking for. So $455.53. All right. Number 3, Harrison Campbell's checkbook balance was $376.22 on June 25th. All right, let's write that. $376.22, and that was on June 25th. Now, there isn't really a space for it, but I'm just going to put it here. He wrote check number 234 on 6/27 to ABC Cable TV for $34.12. On 6/28, he paid Hills Water Company $15.77 with check 235, and he deposited his paycheck. Same date, because it's so also 6/28. And his paycheck, this goes in the deposit, was $776.50. On June 29th, Harrison paid his rent, which was $540. Notice I put the 0.00 to Carolina Apartment. This was his rent with check 236. What is his final balance? All right, so let's put our minuses and plus. Anything in the payment or debit column is a minus. Anything in the deposit or credit is a plus. So we're going to take our starting balance, 376.22, go to the next line and subtract 34.12. That gives me 342.10. Go to the next row and I'm going to subtract 1577. So that gives me 326.33. Go to the next row and I'm going to add 776.50. So that's $1,102.83. Go to the next row, you're going to subtract 540. That gives you $562.83. That's our final balance. $562.83. Ooh, that's awful. All right, so check registers. Keeping very good track of your money will help you not overspend or overdraft and then have to pay stupid late fees for all of the checks that you wrote that were bad. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know. And as always, keep calm and keep trucking.